Aloha and welcome to this introductory lecture about ICS 314, Software Engineering 1. My name is Philip Johnson. I'm going to be your guide for this class. If you want to contact me, there's several ways to do so. My email is johnson@hawaii.edu. You can check the website. You can use the discussion group for posting class-specific questions. Call me on the phone. Or come to my office hours. Really, my office hours are basically whenever you stroll by and see that my door is open. Feel free to interrupt. What I want you to achieve from taking this class is to start to learn how to efficiently build high-quality, relatively large-scale software systems. Large scale, by that I mean maybe up to 500,000 lines of code, something like that. When you start to get into 5 or 10 million lines of code systems, then there's a whole other level of kinds of stuff you're going to have to deal with. Or, large scale in terms of people. So this kind of stuff that we'll do in this class, enables you to effectively work with maybe a group of up to a dozen folks. But if you're working in a group of 50 or 100 or 200 developers, then again, that's going to be stuff that you're going to need other kinds of skill sets for. But anyway, this will take you for quite a while, and so that's good. The other thing that I want you to achieve in this class is the ability to start building a professional persona, and by that I mean, an internet presence that enables other people to really understand what you're capable of as a software developer and as a computer scientist. And that'll be useful regardless of whether you plan to go to graduate school after graduation or go into industry or whatever you want to do. And the third thing is that I'm going to be using what is going to be a rather strange learning pedagogy for many of you called athletic software engineering. And we'll see that as time goes on. It's going to be a little stressful at first for you, but the students that have taken it before actually really prefer it to the more traditional approaches to assessment and education, and it turns out that really helps you to learn the material pretty thoroughly. So I'll just leave it as kind of a little mystery for right now, but you'll find out soon enough. In terms of the prerequisites for the class, you need to have taken at least a year and built something that's got 1,000 lines of code in it. That's kind of just a guess. This class is available to both folks from ICS and from the College of Engineering, and so I'm no longer requiring Java. In fact, I've converted the class starting this semester to use JavaScript. So the first several weeks of the class, you'll be kind of coming up to speed in JavaScript. I don't expect anybody in the class to have extensive experience in JavaScript before. I just want you to have used Java or C++ or something for a while so that you've got some kind of basic skill in programming. Development environment. I don't care about the OS. Modern versions of Unix, Mac OS, Windows are fine. I do have some issues with recommendations about the laptop that you're going to be needing because you're going to be bringing a laptop to this class. We're not going to be using a lab, so you're going to be using your own computational environment. The other prerequisite is to have a lot of time. This class is very time intensive. You can look at my course evals. If you go to the home page for this course, you can click on a link to go to all my course evaluations for the last, 7 years, including many for this class, hundreds of course evaluations. And you're going to see over and over that people say this takes a lot of time. Okay, so if you're loaded up on other ICS classes or you're taking a full-time job or something like that, that could be a problem, right? I'd say give yourself a solid 10 hours a week, quality time. Quality 10 hours a week, and not just 10 hours every Saturday, but really to learn this stuff, what's going to be required is for you to put in a couple solid quality hours most days of the week. Okay, just being frank about it, I think it's worth it. I think the rewards are going to far outweigh the investment of time, but it does require, good things require time and energy to achieve. Okay, and so whatever. Okay, let me just put that out there for you. Okay, so I've seen a lot of different computers that students have tried to use in this class, and I've kept trying to refine, what it is that's really required. My current view is you need a laptop because you're going to be coming into class, you're going to be doing a lot of programming in class. This is not a lecture-based class. When you come to class, you're going to be doing stuff, and you're going to need a laptop to do it. So if you don't have a laptop, you got to get one. Secondly, this laptop needs to be a fairly modern laptop, and the two big things are at least 8 gigabytes of RAM. If you can do 16 or 32, that's even better, and a decent hard drive. A solid state hard drive is one of the biggest things you can do to enable yourself to do the builds and bring up the IDEs and have the environment be responsive. Okay, so some students will come in with a laptop and just bringing up the IDE takes them 30 seconds. Okay, and that's a huge problem over time. That just really starts to be burdensome. And they do a compile and it's 30 seconds before, or a minute for the compile's done. That's just crazy. Okay, so if you're in this class, the assumption is you want to go on and do kind of professional level software development, or at least high-end software development. So it's worth the investment of $1,000 or $1,200 to get a laptop that enables you to do the work in this class and start to enjoy it and not feel like you're struggling with your computer. Okay. Oh, the other thing is, don't have one of these tiny little screens. Okay, have at least a 12-inch screen. Pixels. Screen real estate makes a huge difference. My eyes are old and I need the font to be big, but even you young folks with those great neurons firing and eagle eyes, and you think, oh, I can just reduce the font to like 5 point or something and see everything. Get yourself at least a 12-inch screen. Okay, just do yourself a favor. Grading 30, 20, 50. Biggest thing about this class is I do not grade on a curve. I would love to give everybody in the class an A. That means that everybody in the class will have to get 90% of all the points. But you're not competing against each other. You can help each other without cheating, but you should never worry about helping somebody else because it never affects your grade. I want to create a collaborative environment. Okay, we're doing this thing called Athletic Software Engineering Education, which is my pedagogy. Basically, you're going to see that the kinds of material that I'm teaching are broken down into skills, and I give you plenty of opportunities to train on these skills during the week, and then at the end of a module, I'm going to give you what's called a WOD, or a workout of the day, where you get a specific limited time period to complete some kind of problem that you haven't seen before. If you can't complete it in the time that I've assigned, then you get no credit for that module. Kind of simple as that. It's a fairly hardcore way, but what it means is that you're going to practice not only to be able to do the skill correctly, but to be able to do the skill quickly. And you're going to find that over the course of the semester, as you take the beginning skills and do them quickly, and then add up to even more complicated skills and can do them quickly, that you'll start to become very fluent with building complicated systems because you've built your overall skill based upon all these littler skills which you've become fluent with. So it can work quite well, and again, I've taught this a couple times now, and students really like it. This is a writing intensive class, and what that means is that you'll be doing a lot of writing. Almost every week you'll be building a technical essay. I think this is an invaluable skill for you to practice, because it turns out that in the real world, communication is paramount. Being able to communicate technical concepts clearly to others is a really important skill, as important, maybe more important than your coding skill. And then finally, writing all these technical essays, which you'll be doing as part of a blog, it will enable you to show your writing capabilities to future employers or graduate schools or whatever, and that can work in your favor. Okay, as I talked about before, I want you to build a professional persona, which is a set of technical essays, a portfolio where you can show off projects that you've done, a GitHub account where you'll have the open source code that you've authored, and you'll be participating in a couple social networking sites, professional social networking sites, TechHooey and LinkedIn. Okay, so this is all good. This is separate from your Facebook page, which tends not to be very professional, and is a way when people are trying to look to evaluate you on the internet for some kind of job or graduate position, they'll come across this stuff and not come across those photos of you at a party that someone posted from Facebook. There's 2 books that I recommend for this class. I recommend them as ebooks, not as physical books, but as you can download the PDFs and just put them on your laptop and consult them that way. It's far more effective. JavaScript Cookbook 2nd edition, it just came out in January of 2015. I really like that book. It shows you a lot of examples of using JavaScript correctly. There's a lot of examples on the web. If you just Google for pieces of JavaScript code, you can often see stuff that's really out of date because JavaScript as a language has been evolving. This shows kind of the latest best practices for the language. Then we'll be using a web app framework called Meteor this semester, and there's a book called Discover Meteor which goes through that framework. So I think these are the 2 books that I recommend at this point for you, and you don't have to buy them right away because you can just download them when it gets to be that point, and I'll be letting you know when I'm going to start covering material specifically from it. Okay, so collaboration versus cheating. As I've said before, I really like you to collaborate with people in the class, but I don't want you to cheat. Okay, and cheating is basically taking somebody else's code or blog entries or whatever, and that someone else could be someone from the class or someone that published it to the net, and then submitting it as if it were your own. Okay, even if you did some minor rewriting. Okay, so that's cheating. You are misappropriating other people's work and casting it as your own. If you do that, then I will react in a very negative way. Okay, so just don't do it. All right, that's as simple. It's so simple to not do it that you should just not do it. Okay, and but otherwise, you can talk to people about what you're doing. You can help someone debug an error by looking at their code and suggesting what to do. You can also use code from the net or use code from your classmates, but then you have to attribute it. You have to specify in a comment in a very clear way that the following method or the following file or whatever is not mine, it's somebody else's. Okay? If you have any questions about it, just ask me. Okay, and then we'll clear it up. Okay, so it's just a very simple line. Don't misrepresent what is yours. Okay, if you actually wrote it, maybe with someone talking, you're discussing, but you're the person typing the stuff out. Okay, then it's your code. Okay, if you're transliterating something from the web, recopying it, that's not yours. Okay, that's somebody else's, and then you have to say, oh, this was actually written by Foo, and I'm using it. Okay, so just don't cheat, please. Okay, I really extremely rarely have any issues with this. I don't anticipate having issues with this in the class. Class really isn't set up to enable you to profit from cheating, so I don't think you'll be tempted as much, but just kind of be clear. When you use somebody else's code, give them the credit for it, and you'll be fine. Final thing is, best of luck with this class. Have a lot of fun with this class. I intend for it to have I intend for everyone to have a lot of fun, to learn a lot, and feel like this was a really valuable experience. That's my goal. If I'm failing, come talk with me about it. Let me see if I can, help make it better for you.